Welcome to Urban Geo Hub. Today, we address a major issue plaguing the United States: racism. A deep-seated societal problem, racism's effects are increasingly evident in the rising hate crimes in our cities. America, a melting pot of cultures, is now faced with this grim truth. The silent yet steady surge of racism is alarming. Notably, 42 major U.S. cities have seen a significant rise in reported hate crimes recently. The 10 largest cities experienced an astounding 22% spike from 2022. This disturbing trend marks record highs for 2 consecutive years, casting a shadow on the American dream. Racism, a multi-dimensional issue, impacts various communities in distinct ways. The African American community, as an instance, is disproportionately affected. It's saddening to note that the majority of hate crime victims in the U.S. are Black individuals, targeted solely for their race. The Asian American and Pacific Islander communities have been impacted as well. The aftermath of COVID-19 has seen an increase in hate crimes against these groups. The pandemic has sparked xenophobia and racial bias, resulting in a rise in incidents against Asian Americans. But these figures only scratch the surface. Every instance of racism leaves a lasting mark on the victim and their community, perpetuating a cycle of fear and mistrust that's difficult to shatter. Nevertheless, we believe in the potential of awareness-unified effort. By bringing these issues to the forefront, our goal is to inspire discourse and advocate change. Collectively, we can strive for a more inclusive, empathetic society. Now let's delve deeper into the specifics and reveal the top 10 racist cities in the USA. The data does not lie, and it presents a stark reality of the profound racism that continues to persist in the USA. We're about to embark on an explorative journey into the heart of the 10 cities where racism's still deep. Beginning with the 10th city, we find ourselves in Los Angeles, California. Famous for its Hollywood glamour, the City of Angels hides a malevolent undercurrent, deeply scarred by a considerable number of hate crimes each year. The frequency of such incidents is alarmingly high, reflecting the distressing racial tensions that boundaries. Next, we journey to Dallas, Texas. With its charming southern hospitality, the city presents a contrasting image with the high incidence of racially charged its historical struggles. Dallas unfortunately sees a high rate of hate crimes, a grim reminder of its past. Moving to number 8, we venture into Chicago, Illinois. Even though it's a kaleidoscope of cultures, the Windy City continues to grapple with tensions. The past policies have left a lasting impression, communities of color even today. Our journey brings us to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 7th position. A city that is wrestling with issues of racism. The prevalence of hate crimes here offers a sobering glimpse into the harsh realities of racial discrimination. Moving ahead to the 6th position, we land in Houston, Texas. Despite being one of the most culturally diverse cities in the country, Houston continues to bear witness to a notable number of hate crimes annually. We then venture into New York City, New York, situated at the 5th spot. Renowned for its cultural diversity, the city is nonetheless riddled with racial tensions, evident from the numerous incidents that are reported each year. At number 4, we find San Francisco, California. A city revered for its progressive mindset, San Francisco nevertheless has a significant number of hate crimes, particularly against its Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. On the 3rd spot stands Jacksonville, Florida. A recent tragic event has thrust into spotlight the racial tensions that lurk beneath the surface of this city. Phoenix, Arizona takes the penultimate spot on our list. The city has seen a shocking rise in hate crimes, especially against its Latinx and Native American communities. Finally, we reach the end of our journey at Boston, Massachusetts. Despite its rich historical past, is marred by a high frequency of reported hate crimes, earning it the dubious honor of being the most racist city in our list. These cities unfortunately hold the inglorious title of being the most racially prejudiced, a title no city should aspire to hold. The numbers and places we've discussed represent more than just data. They embody individuals, families, communities affected by the persistent chains of racism. Each statistic reveals a story of agony, injustice, and despair. Each figure speaks of dread, exclusion, and systemic bias. The emotional weight of such discrimination can be devastating, often triggering trauma, anxiety, and mental health issues. Victims of racism wrestle with self-esteem and identity issues, the persistent issues. The persistent barrage of racial stereotypes and prejudiced attitudes can significantly dent their self-worth and personal identity. This psychological trauma can have lasting effects on their mental health and quality of life. The impacts of racism extend beyond the emotional and psychological realm. society also feels the effects. Racism fosters economic disparities, perpetuates poverty, and obstructs social mobility. It amplifies educational gaps, depriving access to quality education and growth opportunities. It gives rise to health inequities, with racial minorities often experiencing poorer health outcomes. These effects of racism can permeate, influencing not only the individuals but entire communities, causing entrenched social injustices. The consequences can resonate through generations, perpetuating cycles of poverty, poor health, and limited opportunities. Addressing these impacts while fighting racism is imperative. Simply acknowledging racist acts is not enough. We must understand the deep and lasting harm they can cause. The struggle against racism is not just a battle for justice, equality, and inclusion. It's also about public health, education, economic equity, and societal stability. Above all, it's a fight for human dignity and respect. It's a war for the dignity of every person, regardless of their racial or ethnic background. It's about respect for our shared human values and the future we're collectively building. Because in the end, it's not just about numbers, it's about human dignity and respect. While the situation may seem dire, it's important to remember that change is possible. Social transformation evolves through stages, with awareness as the initial stride. We have the potential to significantly contribute to this cause. Education is paramount. It necessitates a commitment to learn about the diverse cultures that shape our world, the histories that have formed societies, and the unique experiences of individuals. This helps debunk myths and dissolve stereotypes, which fosters respect and understanding. Empathy also holds weight. It allows us to connect with another's experience, offering a deeper understanding of the impact of our actions. This emotional connection can spur real change and encourage responsible behavior. Active anti-racism is essential. It's more than just abstaining from racist actions. It demands challenging them whenever they appear. We must boldly confront racism in all spaces, from our homes to our communities. Local governments have an important role to fight. They're key in enforcing policies that advocate equality, diversity, and inclusion. Enhanced and consistently applied hate crime laws communicate a strong stance against racism. However, it's crucial to remember that fighting racism isn't solely on those most affected. It's a collective duty that we all need to undertake. Every step taken, no matter how small, matters in this united front against racism. Each effort contributes to the bigger objective. It's time for us to rise to the occasion, become proactive, and bring about the change we wish to see. Before we conclude, let's recap today's session. We delved into the harsh realities of racism deeply embedded in society. We examined the 10 cities with the highest recorded incidents of hate crimes, shedding light on an unsettling picture of prejudice and intolerance. We emphasized the urgent need for proactive measures to challenge systemic racism and promote unity. We reminded everyone that acknowledging the problem is the first step towards its solution. It's crucial to understand the complexities of racism and act decisively against it. As a conscious society, we can bring about significant change. We can foster unity and diversity and discard ignorance. By promoting acceptance and understanding, we can make a difference in eradicating racism. This is our shared responsibility. Thanks for joining us at Urban Geo Hub. Subscribe and like our content today.